Hello, listeners, and welcome to Gotham City's favorite radio station, 4206.9. I am your host and the Throne King Life Train, and today we are talking about the latest and final installment to the Arkham Knight series. And by that, I mean Batman the Arkham Knight. Before we begin, I would really like to get this out of the way. To all of my PC players, I am so sorry that you guys cannot experience Batman, because unfortunately, due to Batman's very poor PC port release, the game has been pulled off of Steam shelves until the fall. I believe that is when you guys will be getting it back. I believe you guys will be getting it back in the fall. And once you, I wish a speedy return to Steam so you guys can enjoy the game in the great 60 FPS that it can come in. I want all my fellow Batman fans to enjoy this game, and it really hurts to see that the PC players cannot have that. So, I am sorry for you guys who cannot play it, and I wish you guys a speedy comeback for it. Secondly, I want to say spoilers for those of you who have not played Arkham Knight, or for those of you who are not that far into Arkham Knight and do not wish to have it spoiled. Please click away. Otherwise, kick back, relax, sip your beverage, eat your food, whatever you're doing, and enjoy the broadcast. So, Arkham Knight is the final installment to the Arkham franchise, which is Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins, and finally Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight is, well, though it is my favorite, I don't know if I can really call it a finale. Now, I'm gonna get into this in into multiple broadcasts explaining this, but Arkham Knight doesn't feel like a closer. It doesn't feel like a swan song ending that brings everything full circle. And that's gonna take a lot of explaining, so like I said, it's not gonna be in this video. This video is going to be rather more of a synopsis, how I felt about the game, how I felt about the characters, story, things like that. So, the story of this is essentially the main antagonist, Scarecrow, comes out of the woodwork with his fear gas. His plan is to spread it all over Gotham and to induce people's deepest, darkest fears, which is honestly a really good storyline. And he actually executes this plan, which is phenomenal. He actually gets the fear toxin all over Gotham. And while his plan actually could have stayed and worked, Batman, being as resilient as he is, he finds a way to foil the plan and save Gotham, as he always does. The story is slow to pick up. And essentially, like, it starts off slow. You're doing this and that, and as you go to fight Scarecrow and all that, this new character, the Arkham Knight, comes in with his militia. Now, for those of you who know anything about the Batman universe, you will see who the Arkham Knight is from a mile away. You'll know it's Jason Todd. Unfortunately, I feel that his story in this game is severely underwhelming compared to what his actual story is. Again, I'm saving that for another broadcast because this is just simply a synopsis of the game. So I'm going to stick with this story and save the comparisons for another video. So, in this storyline, Jason Todd is kidnapped by Joker, and he's taken to the abandoned Arkham Asylum, where he's beaten, tortured, and finally, quote, killed, unquote, by Joker. Joker sends Batman videotapes of all this, and, apparently, he really didn't die. Jason came back as Arkham Knight to seek revenge with his militia. He trains these men how to fight him, and his weaknesses, which makes the game actually rather fun, because these men know your weaknesses. These men know your weak spots. They know how to fight you. But, of course, Batman being Batman, we find the upper hand, and we just managed to beat them all. I want to get this out there now for some people who gotta want to know. Joker is in the game for you guys. Joker is in the game, not in the way you think. But Joker is here, and it is amazing because this game can produce a lot of moments where you just feel stressed out and you just want to rip your hair out. But Joker being here relieves that tension because Joker will appear at random moments where he can be leaning against the wall because in this game he's a mental manifestation inside Batman. But he projects himself into the actual world. He can be sitting on a railing, leaning against the building, sitting on a rooftop, and he just cracks these witty comments, which is amazing because it just, like I said, it relieves the tension. And it allows you to just forget the fact that you just got your ass kicked or you just failed a mission again. Joker is perfect for relieving this tension that builds up. And he does play a fun role in the story because, Batman is battling not only Scarecrow's fear toxin, this Arkham Knight, but he's also battling for control since Joker is inside him, trying to take over his mind. He's just trying to get Bats to let him have control, and it's just so much fun. And Joker's ride is a very up and down, and the end of it is just so emotional. Well, I feel it's emotional. I don't know if you guys feel the same way if you played Arkham Knight, but it's just so emotional the way it ends for Joker. So, since I'm talking about Joker, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the plethora of the other characters. Oh, and one thing about the Joker, for those of you who are probably wondering maybe, yes, Mark Hamill comes back and voices the Joker perfectly. I believe it is the entire original voice actor cast. They all come back for this. Batman's Tim Drake's, Two-Face's, Penguins, Alfred's, everyone just comes back for this. And it is perfect. They do a damn good job at it. And it's just so much fun hearing them again as these voices. And I'm glad the voice actor who did Batman for Arkham Asylum and Arkham City came back. I believe it was different from Arkham Origins. I haven't played Arkham Origins yet, but I heard it was different. So everyone comes back and, as I said, does a damn good job. Really nice to hear the voice actors. The combat, I want to get the combat now for Arkham Knight. The combat is amazing. It's very reminiscent, like I said, of Arkham's. It's very reminiscent of Arkham City. It flows, the counters, everything else just solid. So I don't have to talk much about that, and I can save that time and get into the gadgets. The gadgets, the amount of stuff you can do is just amazing. The gadgets you can unlock, the gadget abilities. Combat abilities, bat suit upgrades, Batmobile upgrades, and just I can't remember what it is. Bat suit upgrades, yes, I believe. I don't know if I said bat suit upgrades. Yeah, I said bat suit upgrades, but all the upgrades are amazing. I found myself doing everything I possibly could to get as much Wayne Tech upgrade points as possible, because the more you unlock, the more you will feel like Batman. And this game actually has a New Game Plus mode. I haven't gone into it yet because I'm still doing Riddler stuff. And once I complete Riddler and I initiate Nightfall Protocol, which is the 100% ending, and I go into New Game Plus, I'm hoping all this stuff carries over with me so I can just, have all the gadgets, all the abilities, and I can just go into this game headstrong as Batman. Not just, trailing through the game to unlock these again so that way I can try to, be Batman by endgame. I'm hoping I can start this game as Batman and have everything because I loved using every gadget at my disposal. Electric gun, remote hacking device, explosive gel, batarangs, remote control batarangs, bat claws, the Batmobile remote control. All of it is just amazing, and just there are so many combos you can do it's amazing. I'm nerdgasming over here because the more I've unlocked, the more I have felt like Batman, and I just love feeling like Batman because Batman's just an utter badass and my favorite superhero. It is just awesome. Let's see. Character-wise, everyone comes back and has they're all rather good. There's just one exception to this. the one exception I am talking about is Deathstroke. Now, Two-Face is there robbing banks, and you have to stop him. And it gets harder and harder because each bank becomes bigger and bigger than the last, which makes you have to go into detective mode, sneak around more because there's more and more thugs, and you have to ambush them, which I really like. Penguins is you fight against his thugs and his weapon caches alongside Nightwing, which is really fun. But Deathstroke's battle is so underwhelming and disappointing. It's so disappointing because it's the same exact fight you have with the Arkham Knight around mid-game. You go to Chinatown, Alfred pulls up the bridges, so you're locked in there with Deathstroke and his tanks. You take out a plethora of Cobra tanks, and then you finally pursue to get his tank, which you have to hit about 4 or 5 times, and then, the tank's finally broken down. Now, when I did this, I expected for Deathstroke to jump out of his tank, and we were going to have a freaking good round of fisticuffs. But no, it's disappointing because Deathstroke simply launches out of his tank, draws his sword, and then Batman lunges on him and knocks him out in one punch. And then we take him to GCPD for maximum security lockup, which is, I feel, severely disappointing. I really, really, really hope that there is something more coming out in the near future that allows us to have more of a in-depth story and maybe better fight with Deathstroke, because Deathstroke was my favorite Batman villain because he's essentially he's Batman's only real match. And I just want to see more with Deathstroke. And on the final subject of this, I want to get on this because I know everyone who's listening who loves Batman wants to know this. The Batmobile. Now, the Batmobile is an emotional roller coaster. I was excited because, just like every other Batman fan, I wanted to get behind the wheel of the Batmobile. I wanted to drive. I wanted to be a badass. And for the most part, I did feel like a badass. I freaking felt like a badass driving it. Now, it was hard to drive it first because it's being a heavy piece of machinery. It fishtails. It's somewhat hard to control when you're turning. But by endgame, I had it. I had it under control, and I learned to drive it. One thing I was disappointed with was the tank mode. Now, as far as I'm aware, the Batmobile never had a tank mode. And I was disappointed with the tank mode because I spent the majority of time in the Batmobile in tank mode, destroying waves upon waves of drones while I disarmed bombs, which is really the only thing that the Batmobile is good for besides these chase scenes. And I don't know. I feel the Batmobile could have been more, but I'm glad with it. To wrap this up, listeners, Arkham Knight is worth the buy. I enjoyed it, and I can't wait to experience more of it in New Game Plus. And I can't wait to make more broadcasts to just explain all of the things that I have to say about Arkham Knight in terms of story, characters, and other things. So, until the next broadcast, my dear listeners, I want to thank you guys for watching. And, I want to thank you guys for listening and watching this video. Remember, if you liked it, go ahead and give it a like. Really helps me out, letting me know that you guys enjoyed this. And I will see you guys on the next broadcast. This is King Life Drain, straight from the throne, on Gotham City's favorite radio station, 4206.9.